Hello, Sirus from Sirus Gaming Spot here, and welcome to Sirus Gaming Corner, a gaming podcast where I and Surface 1390 talk about various gaming topics. From old games to new, everything is fair game. And how is your evening thus far, Sword?
Going good. Playing some good games coming out, and just glad to be back on.
And for today's topic, April Fool's is approaching fast, but rather than just being a jokey topic, I thought I would do a topic that seems jokey at face value, but actually has a lot of, I guess, nuance to it, since people have various opinions on the topic, opposing opinions of that. And that topic is, can you be a fan of a video game if you have never played it? So in this age of YouTube and other various social media where you're able to watch playthroughs of the game or watch some person do a let's play or a streamer play for the game, do you have to play the game in order to be a fan of it? There are a lot of opposing viewpoints on this. Firstly, what do you think, Sword?
See, I feel like it's honestly more nuanced than just a yes or no. Because, for example, if you just sit down and watch like a cutscene compilation of a game, no, you can't say you're a fan of the game. All you did was just watch the story in movie form. At that point, no, you cannot say you're a fan of the game. You did not play it, and you don't even know what the gameplay looks like. That said, though, if you are with a friend or a relative or whatever, and you're sitting and just watching and experiencing the game from top to bottom, even if you might not be holding the controller in your hand, you can see that, for example, if the game is well balanced or not. You can see if the game, whatever. I do think that you at least do have a say in if you're a fan of the game or not. But like, I think it's, yeah, maybe not like, oh, you can say you're as true of as much of a fan physically as someone who actually did like sit down and play the game. But like, for example, like a let's play, you're more so kind of engaging with the experience. So I guess in a way you can say that you are a fan. Like for example, I'll use my own personal experience as an example. So about a year ago, I had downloaded this cinematic horror game called The Quarry that I played with my brother, and you could choose to play like multiplayer. Like you can, at the beginning of the game, you can assign player 1 or player 2 to different characters because there's multiple playable characters. So it's like player 1 plays as this character and this character, player 2 plays as the other characters. And then after a chapter, it will like say, okay, next character, this is player 2, and then you pass the control off to whoever player 2 is. And I feel like in that case, that's different because yes, you're not always playing the game yourself, but it is designed with that way in mind. Like it is designed to just be like you're taking turns with, with the person that you're with.
I would
say, and not to mention that it is a cinema.
You're still engaging with the game mechanics though, so I would say it still counts. It's just multiplayer.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you're still engaging with it. It's not like you're just like kind of like backseat gaming, I guess you could call it. And not to mention that it is very cinematic. It is more of like an interactive movie than an actual game. So I guess that's also something that's also another thing. So yeah, in that case, yeah, I can. I do feel like at the end of the day, it's maybe not as black and white as some people might say. It's not really like a yes or no. I think it really depends on circumstances.
I would say just loud no. I have a very firm stance on this. Firstly, like watching something and playing a video game is very different experiences. You don't experience all what the game has to offer. If you haven't like experienced what the game has to offer for good, but both good or ill, and just have a very curated experience from it, I wouldn't really say you're really experiencing the game. At least that's what I think. Yeah.
You can like what you see, but like you can't. You definitely can't say that you're having the same actual experience as the person holding the controller.
You just won't be like on the same wavelength of talking to somebody who actually have played through the game, who have experienced like the ups and downs of the game. you can say you're a fan of Aspera, I've only watched it, but you haven't experienced getting attacked by Alexei's brilliant cataclysm bullshit. And
only someone who's actually
yeah.
what that's like.
I think like the experiencing the gameplay yourself is still very much a different beast compared to just watching it.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like it's kind of a different story if, like, even getting off my example, like the Quarry, which is a cinematic. Like, I think there is something also to be said for like. Maybe
even in games where there's traditionally not seen as much gameplay, I think there is still significance. Like in a visual novel, even if like the only play choice you have in a visual novel is deciding what choice you have. I think being able to decide what choice you would make in that instance is still important to the experience, because it's your choice.
Oh yeah.
Like when you're watching a Let's Play streamer, like all the urgency is directed at the person actually playing and not the person watching.
Right. Yeah. It's at the end of the day, it's ultimately the person that's like actually holding the controller is the one that's making the call.
Mm-hmm. Even in a game where you're mostly just reading and just deciding what to choose, I still think it is important to be playing it with how, at least how visual novels are structured.
Yeah, because even if it's primarily reading, you're still like actually engaging with it. It's still it's like something like a visual novel. It still does fall under the umbrella of being a video game, I think. And then I think that the same rule applies there as it would to other genres.
I think it is doubly important in other genres, like in an RPG. Like we have this joke where we say Persona fans don't play the Persona games. In the community.
Yeah, that is a running joke.
Sometimes it feels true because some of these Persona fans' takes are so wild that you question if they played it. And
Persona fans. Yeah,
and then you realize, and then this. Oh, I didn't play. I watched it on like a playthrough on YouTube. It's like, oh, okay. No wonder you guys
everything falls into place.
Like I think you just getting back to the word fan. Fan to me is like playing a game that you really enjoy, right? How can you say you actually enjoy the game if you never even bother to play the game itself?
Exactly. Like I said, you can appreciate the experience. You could say like, oh, that looked cool, or that could whatever. But like as far as actually saying, yeah, I am a fan of this game. It's like, oh, did you play it? No, I watched it. Well, then, what the fuck? You didn't play it.
What gets me is like when people are saying that you have to play the game or to be a fan. People like some people really take it like an offensive things like, oh, you're like ableist or something, or you hate poor people or something, or what, or you hate disabled people or something.
Well, see, that's the thing is, at that point,
even though it has been on record that disabled people have played these various games, there is a disabled person who has played through Dark Souls, all the Souls games, and probably all the Devil May Cry games, and any other hard games you can think of comes to mind. So don't.
And also, it's funny you say that because.
And it's very demeaning to just say, just to bring disabled people into this conversation. I think.
I was just about to say that. Yeah. I feel like it's very condescending. Like in their attempt to be like accepting, they end up sounding like just condescending. Which I know that's like kind of getting to a whole other topic at the end of the day. But yeah, at the end of the day, and not to mention that there's also plenty of accessibility options. For color blindness, dyslexia, like there's like so many games nowadays.
I feel like it's saying that you just can't play the game nowadays is very I question how you could say that nowadays when there's so many ways like developers try to get new players to come, like with game being easy, having easier difficulty settings now. to the point where I honestly say sometimes they take it too far. Like Fire Emblem Fates Phoenix mode is an abomination. It's way too easy. It's I think Phoenix mode was a mistake in Fire Emblem Fates. The casual mode was as far as I would take it, but Phoenix mode, I don't know, man. You know what Phoenix mode does in Fire Emblem Fates?
No, what?
You know how in casual, if you lose a unit, you don't lose them for good. You just lose them for the entire battle.
Yeah, no permadeath.
Phoenix mode makes it that they come back eventually, like in a turn or two.
Oh my god.
But yeah, like I do think there comes a point where too many accessibility options can like dilute the game experience.
Yeah, like it's getting to a point where you have like custom difficulties, like sliders, and you can basically tailor to make the game whatever you want.
Yeah.
So,
but that's my personal opinion. But with how video gaming has a lot of these accessibility options, I find it very questionable that you can't bother to play these games, or even old games. Like, just play the game. Like, I'm not saying you have to beat the game. I'm just saying you have to at least play a decent amount of the game and say that, oh, I played through, I understand how this plays, but I just couldn't get past this point because I'm just like not willing to invest this amount of time, or I don't know, I'm just not good enough or something.
Yeah, or just not my cup of tea, or not doing it for me, whatever, anything.
Like the people are saying this is gatekeeping. I'm not gatekeeping. The gates are wide open when I say, please just play the freaking game. I'm just saying, please do not climb over the gates like a degenerate. Because that's what some people sound like when they say, oh, you can just watch the game. You're not like you're just going on climbing through the gates rather than entering through the gate like a civilized person.
Right. Like, it's wide open and they're choosing to do it like climb over it instead. It's like the door's wide open. It's right there.
This might sound very extreme for me, but that's just how I feel, man. Like, you got to play a game in order to say you're a fan of it. If not, like I like the word fan might lose its meaning, I think.
And like, you make a good point too about like, yeah, like I agree. Like, you honestly don't even have to beat the game. You could play up to a point. It could be like, I got stuck. I didn't like it. I don't like it. I don't feel like playing anymore. Then you sat down. You experienced it. You may have not have seen it to the end, but you actually have a valid opinion now, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Like, there's plenty of games that I've played, like physically played, and stopped for some reason or another because I like I said, I maybe I got stuck, maybe I forgot where to go, something. It could have been anything, but at least in those instances, I played it and I understand like what it's about and what it is.
Like, I'm not saying not to watch Let's Plays or streams. Like, you can do that, and you can be interested in the game. But if that interest turns into you liking the game, I feel like you still should play it.
Yeah,
because
I mean,
playing a game is still a very different experience compared to just watching it. Even in very cinematic games where you think it doesn't, it does.
Yeah, like I think the one like exception I make is if the game that you're interested in is super rare and super expensive, and you just aren't willing to shell out like hundreds of dollars for something, and it's like, well, at this point I'll just watch it on YouTube. But like, there's a couple
like with modern computers, if you really want to try that game, there are ways to try that game.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of dabbling into like more like morally gray territory. But like, yeah, like for example, there could be things like maybe that's just maybe a hassle for some people to kind of like mod their computers and stuff, or it could be anything. Like there's this game I think I might have mentioned this in a past episode, I don't remember.
If you like it enough, you're going like, yeah, you probably won't mind it. Like if you like something good enough, unless it's like outright illegal, you will probably go out of your way to try to at least experience that, you know.
Yeah, maybe it's. I think there's levels to it too,
Yeah.
you know. But ultimately, yeah, I think it boils down to the fact that like, yeah, playing the game is different than watching either a let's play or watching a friend in the living room, or you know, it's like I said, like you can appreciate the experience. You can be like, yeah, this looks good, or hell, you could even say like for example, if you're watching it, you could say you like the story, because what's a story? It's like it's cutscenes. You're not doing you're actually like playing anything. So sure, you could say you're a fan of that part. Like I think I don't think that's. But as far as the whole experience collectively, yeah, no, you can't really say you're a fan of the game if all you did was just kind of like sit on the couch and watch it.
I especially say this because video games in particular are very character focused a lot of the time. And the amount of time you spend with the character, not only in the story but also in the gameplay sections, with you playing as them, moving around the world as them, and various aspects of the game, just getting that characterization from just watching a cutscene is still not the same as playing the game and playing as those characters in the various aspects of the game.
Right, and also the other thing too is like, for example, if either you're watching someone or a friend is watching you, let's not kid ourselves. Like when you're just walking around in the game and just either like doing, if it's RPG, you're doing random battles, or if you're playing, I don't know, something and you're exploring the map. Let's not kid ourselves. The other person is on their phone just waiting for the next cutscene. So like maybe not all the time, but I think it's pretty safe to say that like once the cutscene ends and it's time for you to actually like start like playing the game, the other person that's not playing is probably just going to fuck around on their phone, and they're not even really getting the whole experience anyway. So I think that's another thing too, where it's like, yeah, you're not feeling that connection with the character that you're playing as when all you're doing is just watching like a cutscene, and then when it's actually time to play the game, you're just like, okay, I'm gonna go take a piss and just tell me when the next cutscene starts. Like I think that's definitely a thing where it's like, yeah, you can't say you actually fully connect with the character if you're not invest in the mechanics too. That's my take on that.
I will also say, can you be a fan of a movie if you've never watched it yourself, or can you be a fan of this particular music if you never listened it to yourself?
Right, exactly. It's like if you watch like, for example, like using the movie as an example, it's like you're watching clips of it out of context, or you watch like a fucking Cinema Sins or whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, I like that movie or not. No, then no, definitely not.
Like there are like video games or like still video games. I think you should have to play it and experience it and like it in order to call yourself a fan. That's just me, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Like I feel like it shouldn't be that complicated at the end of the day, but apparently it is.
Is there anything to add?
I don't think so. Yeah, at the end of the day, I think, yeah, you should play a game if you want to be a fan of it, or not, or if you can call yourself one.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Some people might disagree, but myself, having played video games for basically my entire life, you should play through the game in order to be a fan of it. And I don't think that like gaming has become a lot more accessible nowadays. I don't think there's really any excuse not to be able to play the game nowadays.
Yeah, like, or hell, it's at a point now where you don't even have to buy a physical copy of a game now. Like everything is like on, like if you have a PlayStation 5, like pretty much every game you can think of is you can download digitally. Like you don't have to go out of your way to, like it's never been easier to be a gamer now, I feel like.
Anyway, I think that's all for today's episode. But yeah, I thought it would be cool to do like these smaller topic episodes, you know?
Yeah, Definitely something a little smaller than our our last series of videos.
Yeah.
With our gigantic beefy 2025 game list.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all from me today. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and see ya.
Take care, everybody.